Right. So what we are discussing about now about three things. One is about policy center. Second about claims and as well as billing. Okay. But in reference to the Guidewire, especially, uh, Guidewire has three. One is policy center. One is policy center. Second is billing.
Claim and billing. Okay.
And third is claims. Third is claims. Okay. So three different things we have: policy center, billing, followed by the claims. Right. So these are the three. Usually the products, especially in Guidewire, these are the three services which normally we perform whenever we are working on policy center and all that. So Guidewire and all that. So these are the three things which normally we use. One is about Guidewire policy center. Second is billing. Third is claims. Understood? Clear? Right. So this is what it was. But when it refers to the policy center itself is concerned, as whatever we see in reference to the policy center has different modules we have, because policy center where we used to manage whatever the policies and all everything we have and all everything is all comes under that, right? So whenever we are talking about the policy center majorly used for creation purpose, creation of policies. This is the first point we do, because if there is any policies to be created and all everything, that is comes under policy center. At the same time, if we want to modify anything, because any modification of policies we want to do, so even modifications can also be done under the policy center. At the same time, even renewal also, because whatever the renewals of policies do we have and all everything also can be done under this here, renewal. At the same time, followed by this cancelling of policies. Understood, Priya? Right. So policy center, because three things, any services can be used by the organizations. But policy center is used for the creation purpose. Policy center creation of policies can be created. At the same time, modifying the policies, renewal the policies, cancelling the policies, all that. This is all something comes under the policy center. This is point number one. Now, when it comes to the billing part itself is concerned, here we need to build the policy, build the policies, whatever the policies people have based upon the treatment, based upon the claims what they have done and all, right? So billing policies and all, policies and all everything. At the same time, and also used for paying of commissions. Right? So whatever the commissions and all everything will be used for commissions for policies to the producers, right? So people who are producing it. So for them, whatever the commissions and all everything is all comes under this, because this is completely relating to the billing, Priya, right? So billing the policy, right? So also paying for commissions, whatever the commissions do we require to calculate, everything comes under the billing part. Third, about the claims part, right? So claims anyway, you know, because as you are from the healthcare area, processing the claims is what generally we do, which is to provide payments to the claimants, because to the claimants and all that, when covered any losses occurs, etc. Right? Right. So these are all something comes under the claims part, all that stuff, because this can be for anything. Either it can be property insurance, it can be It can be casualty, it can be marine insurance, auto insurance and all, against to the damages and all, whatever the claims against to the submission what they have made. So this is all something useful for that. This is something relating to the claims. Okay, this is the thing. So there are three things. One is about policy center, where policy centers, where we need to create, modify, renewal, cancel policies, all that. When we talk about billing the policies and all, everything for paying commissions, etc. At the same time, third one, which is called claims, which majorly used for processing of claims, providing payments to the claimants, right? So all these things comes under this category, right? So these are the three major things we have. Now, whenever we want to discuss about the policy center, because policy center is the first one, which one must be knowing. Now, whenever we want to work under the policy center, there is a process flow which we need to understand. Process flow, Guidewire, policy center flow as follows. Because this flow is what being a BA who are working under Guidewire should be knowing. Okay. The first one is called quote. Okay. These are all comes under policy center. Okay. First one is called quote. Second is called application. Okay. Third one is called underwriting. Fourth one is called policy issuance. Next, endorsements. Right. Next one is about endorsements. Next one is about renewal. Next one about cancellation. Understood? Yeah, right. So these are the different flows which will be there in reference to the policy center is concerned. Right. So being a business analyst, whenever we are working on Guidewire application, one must be knowing about the process flows which are something involved in each and everything. Either it can be services relating to policy center, it can be billing, it can be claims, etc. Whatever I am taking now as an example is about policy center. This is what I am taking as an example. In this policy center, the first one is called quote, right? This is what the first one is. So whenever we are working on quote, especially quote, because this is what generally the first one which normally we do, right? So in this quote, normally this policy center policy holders, whoever has requested for the quote and all everything for insurance coverage comes first. So in the first step here is policy holder or holders, right? So request quote for insurance coverage. Okay, this is the first thing. Okay, because this can be for anything. So this is nothing to do with type of insurance we have. So quotation is something common in every stage of quotation, right? So policy holders will submit a request, right? So because this is not something called selling, because policy upon the request, upon the request of an individual, either it is for their life or it can be for their property. This can be their maybe movable or immovable properties. For anything and all everything. So policy request quotation has to be received first. This is what generally we do. Now, normally here, what is that we do in this? Normally, the second point, if you want, you can write down this.
I am noting down.
Right. So it provides, means in Guidewire, what we do, right? So it provides tools for people who are using this Guidewire and all that. So tools for agents and as well as for underwriters to generate quotes based on the risk profile and followed by coverage needs, etc. Understood, Priya? Right.
Yeah.
This is the
Yep.
second one. Means normally this guideware has an advantage, especially in policy center. Whenever a person has requested for an insurance coverage, all that. So the next thing is about there are different tools which are available on Guideware, where whatever these are all will be used for agents and as well as for underwriters, because underwriting is a concept especially used in the insurance. It can be health insurance or it can be property and casualty insurance, where they have to assess the risk. Risk assessment is what they have to do. So based on the risk assessment, they come to know what are the possible risks, whether this insurance policy can be issued for a particular individual or an organization or for a property or not, will be decided by the underwriters. This is what generally the concept of underwriters is. So based on the underwriter discretion, because end of the day, this is a discretion power of an underwriter. So once the discretion of underwriter was accepted, then only the policy coverage will be given to them. Understood? Clear, right?
Yep.
So whenever there is a quotation, which generally we talk about the process first in this part of quotation and all, upon the request and all that. So there are different tools, especially on the policy center in Guideware policy center are available, where underwriters can generate different quotes and all everything. So these quotes subsequently can be compared with other insurance plans and all everything. That is a different story, right? So that is not nothing to do with what is that we are discussing on it, right? Generating quotes and all based on the risk profile, coverage needs, etc. Everything comes under this category. This is the first one. Now, second one is called as application. Okay. Second is one called as application. In this application, the first thing what is that we do is customer submit application form based on the acceptance. 1 minute, Priya.
Yeah.
Yeah. First one, customer submit application form. Okay, based upon the quotation what they have given, right? So if that quotation whatever was given, if the request whatever was given, whatever the quotation was generated by the insurance companies and all that, so the customer has to submit the application form. So whenever they have submitted the application form, generally the kind of tool whatever we are using and all that, Guideware tool, Guideware policy center, allows insurers to collect and process application data. Okay, right? Guideware policy center allow insurers to collect and process the application data. So once it is done, we need to run the eligibility check and also generate quotes based on the customer risk profile, because this customer risk profile may vary from customer to customer, because risk profile is not same for everyone, right?
Yep.
So when there is an application was submitted, especially on the second level, once the quotation and all that. So usually in our policy center, we have an option where insurers to collect and process the application data. But this processing of application data, to accept that insurance plan, make sure we have to run the eligibility check. This is something like, for example, a person has applied for a loan, right? What happened? Whenever a person has applied for a loan, there are few things will be cross-checked. What are all that? So whenever a person has applied for an insurance loan, all that, loan and all that, so they see the CIBIL record, right? Whatever the credit history record and all they see. At the same time, they see the income statement, etc. Repaying capacity is also important. It's not only income, but repaying capacity. Because how this individual is repaying their loans and all earlier, what was his track record, right? They see based on that, loans will be issued to the person. So this is where generally this eligibility check come into picture, right? Running the eligibility checks and all. At the same time, we need to generate the quotations and all, quotes and all based on the customer risk profile, all of it. Understand? Right? So this is what it is. Next one is about underwriter, right? So this is one of the crucial and important step under the policy center. Not only policy center, in every insurances and all, generally underwriters plays a vital and important role. So underwriting concept in insurance is one the same, and as well as in which is important and all. Here we have to assess the risk of ensuring the customers and determining the appropriate premium. Okay, appropriate premium. Because if you see, sometimes for some profiles, some insurance policies, premium will be higher.
So the underwriter, is it like person or is it feature?
Underwriter is a role, right? It's not.
Role.
It is not an individual. It is not only one individual. There are multiple people will be there. Underwriters. Underwriting. The concept is underwriting.
That's what I'm.
It's not underwriter. Underwriting.
Now I got it.
Underwriting concept. Role of underwriting concept. Underwriters can be anyone, right? Multiple people.
Now I got it.
Underwriting is a concept. So in this underwriting concept, we have to assess the risk which is involved based upon the application, whatever submitted by an individual or an organization or for anything. So based on that, appropriate premium will be decided by them. Appropriate premium. Because for example, a person has taken a life insurance. For example, I'll give you in a simple way so that you can understand. The person who has taken a life insurance premium sometime in the early ages of his life, their premium will be lesser. So once they have crossed that age, once they are getting older, what will happen automatically? Premium will also be higher. Right? Because of the risk, because of the age, because of the risk and all everything, premium will also be on the higher level. Am I right or not? Right? So appropriate premium and all everything will be calculated here, right? So determine, so premium, whatever the premium they have mentioned based on the underwriting will not be the same for all the cases. It will vary from case to case. Clear to you, Priya?
Yep.
Now, next one about, it supports underwriting activities such as risk assessment, policy pricing, followed by this approval of workflows. Okay, approval of workflows. Understood? Clear? Right?
Yeah.
Right. So this underwriting concept is important.
Yeah.
Right. So risk assessment, right? Policy pricing, approval of workflows and all everything will also be done under the underwriting concept.
Okay.
So once underwriting concept is done, the next is about policy issuance. It is easy for you to understand because policy
Yeah.
issuance is nothing but
Yeah.
because once the policy is approved and all everything, usually we generate different policies and all everything, and subsequently that policy document and all everything will be delivered to the customer. Okay. But in this, there is a data which normally in our guideware which we maintain, whatever the system records relating to the policy date, right? So coverage limit, deductibles,
Yeah.
premium amounts, right? So all these things will be mentioned under the policy sheets. Understand, right?
Yeah.
So the next one is called as endorsements. Next one is called as endorsements. Endorsements means, for example, once the policy is approved, and at the same time, whenever the generation of policy document and deliver it to the customer and all, so normally customer may require, if there is any kind of requirements in reference to the changes in reference to the coverage, or maybe, for example, uh, endorsement means, let's say, for example, auto insurance, right? Vehicle insurance. Whenever we are talking about vehicle insurance and all, assume that vehicle insurance, including a person who is driving the vehicle, will also get insured, right? For example, vehicle and vehicle, even a person who is driving. There are possibilities. Sometimes we have changed the driver.
Yeah.
We have changed the driver. So endorsements has to be changed accordingly. For example, that respective vehicle is not being used for all, right? So for some reason we have kept that aside, maybe expiry or whatever it is, right? So what we have to do, we need to remove the vehicle details and all everything from the policy. This is all something we talked about endorsements. Understand, right?
Okay. So it's like, suppose like in if we have a like family insurance and then a minor is driving, so maybe including him or excluding him from that, is it something like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Editing, including and excluding. Yes, both. Yes.
Including or removing. Okay.
Agreed. Insuring, and for example, in a family, for example, there were 3 people as of now, right? Whenever they are renewing it, a new family member came. So what will they do? Automatically, they will add that person, and again, new renewal come in for the next year. Yes, sir.
So any change that happens to the policy that they took.
Absolutely.
Okay, that is it.
Edit, add or delete. Either anything.
Okay.
It all comes under the endorsement part. So once the endorsements, the next is renewal, because once the policy term is completed and all, generally we have an advantage in Guideware. Of course, we have other applications, but in reference to the Guideware and all, this can automatically generate renewal quotes and all everything, and it will be sent to the customers based on the coverage. And for example, a person has already used that insurance policy, right? So once the insurance policy they have used and all, they don't have any option called as NCB. I think hope you know about NCB. NCB means no claim bonus. For example, a person has taken an insurance plan and they are paying premium every year on time, but they have not used that insurance. Automatically, what they do in the next premium, there is a discount which will be given in a form of no claim bonus to the people.
Yep.
Understand, right? So this is all something comes under the renewal part, right? So renewal automatically, auto renewal reminders will be sent to the respective people. This is all about renewals. So after that, cancellation, because for example, if the policy is cancelled and all that, so we need to generate cancellation notices and all everything, and followed by this, whatever, if there is any kind of refunds and all everything are there, processing of refunds and all everything will be done over here. Understood, Priya, right?
Yep.
So these are the different steps which normally will be involved under the policy center.
Okay.
Right. So policy center, where it starts with quotation, we have to, again, I'm repeating, quotation is what? First of all, generating of quotes. After that, application will be submitted. Once the application is submitted, underwriting based on the risk assessments and all, everything will be done under underwriting. After that, policy will be issued. If there is any endorsements, editings, add-on, deletions and all, everything comes under endorsements. After that, it will going into the renewal, right? Whatever the renewals and all, everything we will make. Last but not least, cancellation can be done. So if there is any balances and all, everything will be repaid back to the people. So these are the different things which are involved under the policy center. This is what generally the process flow generally which is involved under the policy center whenever we are working on the Guidewire.
Okay.
Clear to you? No?
Yep.
Right. So this is policy center. Tomorrow I'm going to explain about billing and claims.
Okay.
Any questions to you on this?
No, I'm good.
Right. So this is all for today.